Sorry.
All right, we're recording. So I kept seeing, we all have our people, our Beachbody people that we follow on social media, and I kept seeing this book popping up on, Raina's calls and Moira's and all these people, and I'm like, who is this guy? I need to get this book first off. So I go on Amazon, grab the book, and I just see his name popping up, and I'm like, you know what, this is something that I want for myself. I want to be able to have these guest speakers. And, this is just things that are going on in my mind. So got the book, started reading it. And I mentioned Keith in my stories one day. So he messaged me, thanking me, for the support and this and that. And he worded the message like, I know this is kind of out of the blue, but would you be willing to write a review for my book? And it just so happens that part of the book of his that I was in was, being a leader of leaders and acting like one. So Brittany's out of town and I'm like, okay, he just asked me to do something. Here's my opportunity. Do I do it? Do I do it? Do I do it? And I'm like, I'm just going to ask him. I don't even know how it works, how people get on team calls or whatever else, but I'm like, I'm going to be a leader of leaders. So I asked Keith to be on our team call. And sure enough, here we are. So don't ever think that because you don't have a big team yet or you don't have whatever, you guys, Beachbody is such an amazing community that we all support one another. We want to see each other grow and everybody can learn from one another. So thank you, Keith, for taking time out of your busy schedule and out of your family and being here tonight on our call, because I know a lot of us are going to learn a lot of things. So, and get your Amazon accounts ready because you're all going to want to get this book.
Is that turned over to me?
Yes.
Go. All right. Well, thanks for that introduction, Kate. And Brittany, thanks for having me on. And I think that I love the way that the call started. Sometimes when I start these calls, I'm like, gosh, I wish we had a weekend together. I wish we had 48 hours so I can just take everything that's in my brain and dump it into your brain. But I want to try to focus on some of the most important stuff. And I guess I want to start by asking you guys a question. So we can always go in a bunch of different directions with these calls, but if we focused on two things, if we focused on how do we actually find people that want to work the business, and then how do we get them to take action? Would that be something that would be of value? Like if we left here tonight, if we went through, we had an hour call, and you can type in the comments, yes or no, would it be of value if you left here and you're like, all right, I know how to find people that actually want to take action, and then further than that, they actually do something, right? Brittany Powers twice says yes. Okay, so. All right, yes. All right, I have another question for you guys because I want to kind of just get a gauge for where we're at. What's your current rank and what's the goal that you're pushing towards? And then I guess a third part to that. So what's your current rank, what's your goal, and when's the date that you have set for that goal? Oh, I love that. Diamond, Elite by end of year, Emerald 2-star, Diamond 5-star. Brittany, I thought you were already past Diamond. I'm just kidding. 1-star, Diamond, Summit, 7-star, pushing for Superstar, 10-star by Summit, qualifying, Emerald, current 2-star. All right. Do you guys mind if I do a high-level call? And I guess I will apologize beforehand. If you're a brand new coach, don't let any of this scare you away. Don't let it push you away. I'm going to give you guys, I want to go through and I want to give a high level training. I want to give this is the 5-year plan. This is what, if you're coming in, even if you're a brand new coach, it's going to be of immense value, but don't get, I like that, Victoria, newbie. All right. Brand new coach, Megan. All right, don't get overwhelmed, guys. What what I want you to leave this call is inspired and knowing that you can do it. Because here's the deal. You're also going to want to take a lot of notes. One more warning, and then I promise we're going to get rolling. I am total, like, when I was in high school, if ADD was around then, because I'm kind of a little bit older, I would be like the ADD dude. They would have had me on all types of drugs and whatnot. So I may go in a million different directions, but I promise you by the end, like in the middle, you might be like, what is this dude talking about? But it's all going to come together. It's all going to come together. It's all going to flow and you'll get it. All right? Everybody cool with that? A couple brand new coaches. All right. So here's the deal for everybody. Here's the question that we all ask ourselves. Can I do this? Right? Like we come into this and we don't want to admit that. But the real question that goes through our mind is, can I do this? And the difference between the people that are making it in Beachbody, and when I say, like, here's what I think is making it. Like, once you get to the point that this is full-time income, the difference between those people and everyone else is they move through the can I do this into the am I actually willing to do what it takes. Because the reality is that we've got 33 people on this call. You, not the other 32 people, like you. You have the ability to achieve success in this industry at the highest levels. What we're going to answer today, so we're going to answer a few questions. The question no longer, like at the end of today, the question no longer is going to be, can I do this? What the question that's going to be on your plate is, am I actually willing to do what it takes? Am I willing to do what it actually takes? Because I'm going to go through and I'm going to explain to you that I don't care if you have 50 pounds to lose, or you're a fitness model, or you're at the beginning of your journey, or you've been on it for 3 years. There's people out there that will be inspired by you. And that's one of the number one words that you want to write down. We're going to talk a lot about that word, inspired, inspiration. It actually derives from the Latin inspirato, which means in spirit. So a lot of times we want to know, we get so caught up. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me slow down. We'll come back to that inspired. I'm going to give you guys just a tiny little abridged version of my story, because I want you to know a little bit about where I came from, a little bit about my history with Beachbody, and why what I'm going to teach might have some value for you. So I was a train wreck in high school and in college. Used to drink all the time, got to the point that I was blacking out all the time. Hit rock bottom at 21 years old, down in Mardi Gras with a bunch of guy friends, like got alcohol poisoning. And that was the last time I've been drunk. I've drank since then, but that was the last time 20 years ago that I have actually been drunk. And really what it was a wounded, hurt man that masked it in all these masculine type ways. Drinking, lifting weights, and, just like the very, the guy type stuff, right? But what it really was a insecure, scared man that had never grown up. I grew up with alcoholism on both sides of my family. So really in my 20s was healing a lot of those wounds, healing a lot of 30 years old. You guys think this is crazy. 30 years old was the first time I actually felt love in my life. How crazy is that? Like 30 years old, I never knew what it was until then. But yeah, so my 20s was really about healing and finding myself and peeling back the layers of the onion, like, one at a time, just with old wounds, old scars, old things that really held me back. And then when I was 30, I found P90X, went through it with my now sponsor, my Beachbody sponsor, but neither one of us were with Beachbody at the time. Went through P90X, did it 100%, and got the results. But as we all know, like, the physical results weren't the real thing. Like, the real thing for me was I completed it. Like, I did it from start to finish. And it made me feel like happier and healthier, and yeah, I had that twinkle back in my eyes. You guys all know what I'm talking about, right? Because we've all done a program 100%. And if you haven't, I guess this is a good time. So again, here's one of the squirrel moments. You need to just set your vital behaviors on autopilot. And one of those vital behaviors is being a product of the product. Like if you want your business to grow, the number one thing you can do is to do a program 100%. Not 90%, not like 95%, not I'll do the workouts and I'll do my own nutrition plan. Really doing it 100%. What I like to sort of compare, like if I was to say how many people want to have big success with Beachbody? And actually, let's do it now. Go ahead and in the chat, write yes or write yay or me or whatever you want to do. Like you want to have big success. You want to make this into something that is paying you $1,000+ a week, right? That's what we all want. Everybody wants that, right? I won't ask this question because I don't want to call you out, but like like your vital behaviors are the first step out of 10 steps, and it should just be automatic. And here's the reason that it should be automatic. A, it's going to grow your business, like doing those activities that are going to grow your business. B, when you do it consistently, you're going to get that same good juju that you get when you do a program 100%. Because here's the deal, when you do that, when you start doing your vitals and they become a non-negotiable thing, your business is going to start growing, but your self-esteem and your self-confidence, and we're going to talk a lot more about that, is going to grow along with it. And when you're not doing it, two things happen. Every time you're like, you have a plan to do your Beachbody work, but you don't, you reinforce that you're a failure. Truth, right? So anytime you set out to do something and you don't do it, it's kind of like when I have people start, I think that way back when 21 Day Fix started coming up or just came out, we had this massive growth in Beachbody, and here's why. Because 21 Day Fix is a much easier program to complete than P90X, right? Prior to that, it was P90X and Insanity. So a lot of people would start P90X and start Insanity and not complete it. And what did they do? They reinforced that failure loop, right? And along came 21 Day Fix, and it was like 21 days, half hour a day, and it was like 90% of the people that started it. You guys know this from your challenge groups, right? Like people go through it and they finish it. It's the same thing with your vital behaviors. If you're not doing those, what you're doing is you're reinforcing that negative pattern of, I didn't do it. And it's just, and there's the second piece to it. There's also this indecision piece. And you want to write this down. Like one of the biggest drainers of your energy is indecision. So when you say you're going to do the vital behaviors and you don't, what happens is all day long you're going back and forth, and you know you should do it, but it's in the back of your mind, and then you don't wind up doing it, and that indecision sucks the life out of you. So just like literally, one of the biggest things you can do for your business is make the decision to go all in. Make the decision to go all in on that fitness program. Make the decision to go all in on your invitation, like all the vital behaviors. Back to my story real quick, and then I'll continue with a teaching piece. So go all in on P90X, eventually become a coach, and 11 months into the coaching business, I was able to go full-time as a coach. I had a new wife, new baby, and I was able to go full-time. Fast forward, this is kind of the only piece of my story that I want to kind of throw out there because it's like that aha. For me personally, I've never hit higher than Success Club 17. I've only hit over Success Club 10 3 times in 9 years, right? Kind of like loser mode in Beachbody talk, right? 3 years into the business, 3.5 years into the business, I went away on a spiritual retreat. We were gone for 2 weeks and completely disconnected from all technology, like where we were out in South Dakota camping in the at the Rosebud Indian Reservation. So 2 weeks without any connection, right? Return from that 2 weeks and had no voicemails, no direct messages, like nothing. Nobody needed anything. Nobody was like trying to look for me. Here's the like, I got your attention part. During that time, we added 800 coaches to the downline. So in 2 weeks, we added 800 coaches to our downline 3 years into doing the business. But nobody needed me. There was literally, I got back and it was the weirdest feeling. I was like, like nobody cares. Like nobody needs me. And the reason for that is because I built my business with intention. So again, write that word down. So we talked about, what was the other I word? Inspiration. Inspiration. So first one was inspiration. Second one was intention. So we all want to know, how do we find people to do this business and how do we actually get them to take action? What I want to do is I want to paint a picture for you tonight, and what this picture is going to be. I don't think that you need to change anything that you're doing in your Beachbody business if you're already doing all the work, right? If you're already doing all the work. And here's the deal, and this is going to be like a big like slap for a lot of us. Here's the work with Beachbody. Like, here's the real work. You want to grow a business, right? The real work in our business is inviting people and following up. That's the real work. Some of us get caught up and we have a challenge group and we spend hours in that challenge group. Or we spend hours like doing this on social media. Or we'll get on every single team call and we'll get on the national wake up call and we'll get on all the stuff on Team Beachbody 411 or whatever it is. But guys, 95% of this business is talking to people, is inviting and following up, right? So again, we all raised our hand. I want to be that girl. I want to be that girl. I want all the things that this network marketing business promises, right? All right. How many people did you talk to today? Reality check. Like, really? How many people did you talk to today? Did you talk to 10 people? Maybe 3 of them paid a little bit of attention. Maybe you got 1 to sign up. That's how it works. So how many people did you actually talk to today? How many people did you follow up with? Are you following up with the same people over and over and over and over again? Do you have people that you're hoping are like, this is an action-oriented business and it's talking to a lot of people. So we all want to achieve success at the highest levels, right? And so did I. And when I first got started, I knew that, and it's kind of like we all want success, right? But I remember when I first got started as a coach, I saw Josh Spencer. You guys know who Josh Spencer is? So he was the top coach a couple of years ago, like right before Melanie was. And so I got to see Josh Spencer, and at the time he had 300 coaches on his team. And my brain couldn't comprehend that. Like, how does somebody get 300 coaches, right? And for a lot of us that are new, like that just seems totally unattainable, right? 300 coaches. And the reality is that you're going to need hundreds, if not thousands of coaches on your team to make a large income. But that's overwhelming. And I was at this training, and what the teacher said, the guy up on stage, he said, you're not looking for thousands of people. You're not looking for hundreds of people. You're only looking for 5. And he's in Beachbody lingo, this is 5 5-star diamonds. He said the goal in Beachbody is to get to 5-star yourself and then to get 5 5-stars underneath you. He said, Keith, you're only looking for 5 people. Yep. Somebody read the book. Flip those cups. You're only looking for 5 people. And for all of us on the call, we can understand that, right? Like you can comprehend finding 5 people. Now you're going to have to talk to a lot of people and you're going to have to go through a lot of people to find those 5 people. But you're really only looking for 5 people. And in the book, I have this story about, imagine that you're in a gymnasium, right? And you're looking down, so you're in the bleachers and you're looking down on the gymnasium floor and there's 10,000 Dixie cups down there. And they're all flipped upside down. And your 5 people are underneath 5 of those 10,000 Dixie cups. And this is your like 3 to 5 year plan. Remember how I said we're going to talk about the big picture? And what he said is, here's the deal. How fast are you going to go down there and flip those Dixie cups? And everybody wants to know, like, all right, I'm putting in the work. How long is this going to take? Like, how long is this going to take me? I don't know. Maybe the first 5 cups you flip are going to have those 5 liters underneath them, right? Probably not. Probably not. It's probably going to be somewhere in the mix. Maybe in the first 100 cups you flip, you find a leader. And then you might flip another 5,000 cups before you find another leader, right? And then as he's teaching, he said a couple things. Here's a sure way to make sure you don't succeed in this business. Stop flipping cups, right? And what's flipping cups? Flipping cups is talking to people, inviting them to your challenge groups, inviting them to try products, inviting them to the business opportunity. Right? So we're talking to a lot of people. And then he said, here's what we know. We can get better at flipping cups. So how do we increase our probability? We flip cups faster, aka talking to more people. Or the second thing is we get better, right? Because as we're out there and we're putting ourselves out there in the world, we're going to grow. We're going to get a little bit better, and we're going to get a little bit more self-esteem and a little bit more confidence, and we're going to get better at flipping cups. All right, let's jump over. I told you, like, it's kind of all over the place, but it'll make sense. Let's jump over to the big question. How do we actually find people to do this business, and how do we get them to take action? This is a 3-step process, and I'll outline the 3 steps and then go into each one of them. The first step is leading yourself. The second step is positioning yourself. And the third step is mentoring others. So I've been able to, over the last 9 years, I would say that I've probably one-on-one mentored a couple hundred people from diamond to beyond. And here's what so somebody gets to the rank of diamond, and here's the deal. We're all hustlers, right? Yeah, like I saw you guys when we got on this call. Like, you guys are hustlers. You're willing to do the work. Just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do, and I'll go out there and I'll do it. And that's sort of what Beachbody attracts. We're hustlers. We're doers. And whenever I'm working with someone on their diamond, all right, tell me what to do, Keith. Tell me what to do. And I got to tell you guys a quick story. When I first hired my mentor, so I had a sponsor in this business, but I hired a mentor. I wanted this business, and I wanted it bad. So I hired my mentor, Craig, and we used to have 1 call a month. And the first call got set up, and I was so nervous for this call because Craig for like 35 years, he was a network marketing professional who built a downline of 80,000 people. So I was like so excited to work with him, so nervous to work with him. And finally the day comes, we get on the call, and I'm so excited. I'm telling him how I'm a hustler, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And I'm telling him about my vision and my dream and what I want to do for my family and all of this, right? And he just sat there for like 10 minutes. He was like, tell me a little more, tell me a little more. I didn't know, but he was totally baiting me. So finally, after like 20 minutes of me going on like this, he's like, man, I don't know if we're going to be able to work together. And I was like, well, this is all about. He's like, you just went on for 20 minutes about all the things you want to accomplish and all the work you're willing to do and this and that. And he goes, I didn't once hear you say a single time, not one time, that you wanted to help people. And he said, this is an industry and this is a business about helping people, and I honestly don't know if you're going to be able to do it. He said, I want you to think about this and we'll talk next month. And he hung up the phone. First call, right? But here's what he understood. We all want to know the how-to and write this down. What's more important, like, how do you get to 5-star diamond? Ready? Here's like the big secret. You get to diamond and you help 5 people get to diamond. That's it. Like, that is the how-to. So then why are other people, like, why are more people not there? And I like a few times I was like, I think I know it. Carl Deichler gives them the different business plan, right? Or they have this super magical thing on it, like Instagram. Like we have all these reasons why it works for other people. But here's the question that Craig put on me, and this is the piece that I want you to write down. It's not what do I need to do to become a 5-star diamond, because I just told you that. It's who do I need to become? Who's the woman that I need to become to hold the rank long term? That's a much different question, right? Who do I need to become? Who do I need to grow into? What skills do I need to get? Do I need to work on my self-esteem? Do I need to let go of regrets, resentments, angers, insecurities, anxieties, depressions? Because here's the deal, we all want to know the how-tos. Give me that next Instagram training. Give me that next Facebook training. Teach me how to take the sexy selfie, right? Here's the deal. Here's the sexiest selfie you're ever going to take. Stop wallowing in your SHIT and start walking through it. That's inspiration, right? Because I'm telling you, when you draw the line in the sand and you say, you know what, I am sick and tired of playing small in this life. I'm sick and tired of not living. Because the deal is, God gave each one of us this unbelievable potential, and we're not living up to it because we're afraid. We can mask it in all types of different things, but it's because we're afraid. We're afraid of what others are going to say. We're afraid of failure. We're afraid of success. We're afraid of getting out of our comfort zone. We're afraid of being afraid. Like all these different things, right? And so many of us, like, we want to know all these things. And here's the deal. Do you guys know who Haley Christian is? You guys know Haley, some of you? So check this out. So Haley is a diamond coach. So she signs up. We get her to diamond in like 60 days. So she gets to diamond, right? And then she stays diamond coach for 3 years. 3 years. She's showing up every day, putting in the work. She's hustling. She's doing her vital behaviors. Those things are on autopilot. But she's not growing. Her business isn't growing. 3 years. January of 2017. Yeah, January of 2017 rolls around. Her husband had just gotten laid off. They're in the line checking out at a register, right? And she sees him playing credit card roulette to see which card they can put the groceries on. Ever been there? Like, not a good feeling. And she like starts freaking out, and she's like, oh my gosh, I got to go back and I got to get a job. Her whole shtick was that she lives this freebird life, and she quit her bartending job and quit hairdressing and now is full-time Beachbody coach. So she's got to go back and become a full-time, or she's got to go back and start bartending again. The next week she gets a bartending job, goes in for one shift, freaks out, leaves halfway through the shift. She's like, there's no way, like I can't go back to that life. This was January of 2017. She'd been a diamond coach for 3 years now. January to May, she goes from diamond coach to 7-star qualifying. So many of us think that we're doing what, like we think we're doing our best, but we haven't even come close to tapping into our true potential. It took something like that for Haley to tap into what she's really made out of, to tap into that little whisper. Like, you know it, right? I know you know this little whisper. It's that whisper telling you that you're meant for more, that you can do more, that this big, beautiful life is waiting for you. It scares the hell out of you. I was listening to or watching a 30 for 30 episode the other day. So 30 for 30 is it's a ESPN documentary series, and they had John Calipari on there. John Calipari was the head coach for UMass basketball. Then he was the New Jersey Nets, then Memphis, and now Kentucky. So, anyways, he was. During this 30 for 30 episode, they were interviewing Bruiser Flint. Bruiser Flint was John Calipari's assistant at UMass. You guys follow me with this story so far? Am I like totally blowing you guys out of the water? Like, is this way too much information? Yes or no? All right. I had a few glazed looks coming, and I was like, oh, I hope I'm not losing you guys. All right, so John Calipari's Bruiser Flint is John Calipari's assistant coach. And he said, you know what makes John Calipari great? He said, here's the deal. Every single NCAA Division I basketball player thinks they're giving 100%. Not even thinks it, they know they are. He said, you know what made John great? He was able to reach into the hearts and souls of these men and get them to do things that they couldn't even dream possible. Get them to achieve heights that they couldn't even dream. Get them to just become these men that they couldn't even dream possible. For so many of us, we're sitting there in that spot that Haley was sitting in. And we think we really believe that we're giving our 100%, but there's so much more inside that we can give, right? You guys know who Wayne Dyer is? So I love Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer wrote probably 100 books, but he wrote this book called Manifest Your Destiny. And in the book, he said that so many of us have these lists of things that we're willing to do to live a good life. And I believe, like in Beachbody, so many of us, we have these lists of things that we're willing to do to achieve success, right? You probably have one, right? Like we all have these lists, like, I'll do that, I'll do that. Here's what Wayne said. He said, take that list and throw it out. He said, there's too many things on it. It's too long. Throw that list out. He said, make a different list. This is going to make your life much easier. What's the couple of things right now that you're avoiding? What's the couple of things that you're not willing to do? And he said, I'm telling you, if you start working on that list, everything's going to change for you. Because here's the deal. We're answering this question, how do we find people that want to do this business, and then how do we get them to take action? And the answer's in that list. Because in that list is you growing. In that list is you stepping out of your comfort zone. And I can see everybody twitching and doing I know this stuff is uncomfortable, right? Because we want to stay comfortable, but I'm not here to give you the comfortable, cushy, rah, rah, rah. Here's what you need to do to achieve success at the highest levels in this business. What is on that list? and we talked about that sexy selfie. That's what Haley did. She started walking through those fears, walking through her SHIT instead of wallowing in it. And when she did that, it was inspiring to watch. People couldn't not watch. So, leading ourselves, growing into the person that we're really capable of becoming, right? 5-star diamond coach, okay. Who's the woman I need to become? Who do I need to become? What type of self-esteem would she have? What type of courage? What types of things would she do? What types of activities? What would her day-to-day activities look like? How would she talk to herself, right? Who do I need to become? That's the leading ourselves section. The second piece is so remember, what we're talking about here is not how do I sign up a bunch of people. What we're talking about is how do I find people who are going to do this business and take action. So the second piece is positioning ourselves. I want to share with you what I personally do to position myself. And don't feel like you have to do what I do. You can copy whatever you want. Catch the philosophy though. Catch the intention. Again, intention and inspiration. I'm going to keep coming back to those words. So my intention is to position myself as a leader, because I want people taking action when they sign up with me. So for the first, I've been a coach for 9 years. For the first 5 years, I didn't have I know that you guys are really big on attraction marketing. I'm the worst at it. For the first 5 years of my business, I didn't have a single coach sign up that I didn't actively go out and find. How crazy is that? Actually out there, looking for people and messaging them and setting up calls and all of that stuff. So anyways, that was the first 5 years. The last 4 years, I did two things. So I put together a podcast. The podcast is called All About Beachbody Coaching. And just picture it like any question, what I thought about, it's 30 standalone episodes, 15-minute episodes. And I was like, what would people ask? What's going through people's minds when they're thinking about becoming a coach? And that's sort of what the episodes are. Things like, do I have to be in the best shape of my life? Do I have to share on social media? What if I'm not good at sales? How does the compensation plan work? Stuff like that, and just answering questions. And then I had a professional transcribe those into blog posts and keyword them and everything. So now I have my whopping 2 to 3 people a month that come to me through those two things. So anyways, they come to me, and I kind of just wanted to set that up so you understand how people are coming to me now. They come to me, and if they're interested, and again, so those blog posts and those podcasts, it's in the tone that I'm talking right now, right? So it's all in this tone of building a large organization, growing yourself, that type of thing. And I've positioned myself as a leader. They're interested in working with me. They go and they fill out an application. The application sends them a autoresponder, right? We all kind of know how this whole thing works. The autoresponder basically says that I'm excited, can't wait to talk to them, but I'm really busy. Do me a favor, shoot me a text message. Here's my phone number. So it's a second positioning thing when. Love you, baby. Have a good night. Number one, going to bed. So I think one of the reasons my ADD is worse is because we have 5 kids, and it's like literally like herding cats. There's like kids everywhere. I have no idea what I was talking about. Oh, the application. So they fill out the application and then they get an autoresponder saying to text me, right? And again, the reason I want them to text me is because they're coming to me. Here's the number one thing, like in this story, if you can catch it. Here's what so many of us do. We're like, please come work with me. Oh my gosh, like I need this person to sign up so bad so I can get Success Club. And like people feel that a mile away. And what I'm doing with the positioning is I'm saying, I don't need you, you need me. Right? Like that's the energy behind the positioning. Anyways, we get on a call. They still haven't signed up. I do a call and I just explain how I work. I explain that if you're looking for someone that runs challenge group, like the best at running challenge groups or knows all the ingredients in Shakeology or is a 2B mindset, like that's not me. I can point you to the right direction. But if you're looking for somebody that's going to teach you how to grow a large organization and that's going to challenge you, that's going to push you, and that's going to help you grow into the person you need to become, that's what I'm going to do. So it's really like a very upfront agreement. And I let them know they walk, I walk, they run, I run, they do nothing, I do nothing. So it's very, again, I'm letting them know that I'm not going to waste their time and I don't want them to waste my time. Eventually they get signed up. They get a welcome email from Beachbody, and they also get a welcome email from me. And the welcome email from me is more of this. It's more of, this is the book I want you to read. This is the audio I want you to listen to. Go check out this website. So there's 10 things on there. By the way, guys, even if you haven't bought the book yet, if you go to keithcallahan.com/book, all the scripts and everything for how I do all of this stuff, like all the positioning stuff, how I work with like when I'm mentoring people one-on-one, there's like 10 different things. It's all just one free download. You can go there. So again, it's keithcallahan.com/book. Because I know I'm buzzing through a lot of this stuff too. Eventually they get to the point that we do our getting started right call. Here's the gist of the getting started right call. We're going Emerald in the next 24 hours. Because the reality is that Emerald's a decision. You know, all of us who have gone Emerald, it's usually like your husband and your mom. Like it's usually a couple people that are close to you, and it's like it's a decision. So just catch the big picture of what I did there. So we're talking about leading ourselves, right? And if I'm in my power, I'm walking through my own stuff, I'm really stretching myself in my life. And then I'm bringing other people in and I'm positioning myself this way. Now when I get to mentoring those people, can you see how drastically different that is from just having somebody sign up and trying to convince them to do something? You guys following me with this? Because finding people to do this business and getting them to take action is about inspiration. Because we're going to get to the third piece now. How do we get them to actually do something? You can't until you're doing it yourself. And that starts with your vital behaviors, but at some point, just showing up isn't enough. Just showing up is going to get you some success. You might hit Success Club every month just showing up. You might make $100 or $200 a week just showing up. But at some point, just showing up isn't enough anymore. And the piece that, okay, I have this person and I want to get them to do something. My mentor, Craig, used to say, Keith, in your mind, I want you to picture something. I want you to picture that you have a 12-inch like string, like a little white piece of string, right? He said, now put that piece of string down on the table and picture what would happen if you pushed one end of that string. He said the string would kind of crumple up, right? I said, now I want you to picture the same thing, like lay that string down on the table, but instead of pushing it, put your finger on the end and pull it. And he said, here's the deal. Everybody wants to know, how do I mentor my people? How do I get them to take action? And we want to like have calls with them. We want to try to get them moving. We want to have them fill out the whatever the newest thing that Beachbody has us fill out. Like we want to do all these different things. And he's like, it's a waste of time. He said, here's what you need to do. Here's the only thing you need to do is you need to inspire them, and then you need to get out of the way. That's it. Like with Haley and I was still talking to her for those 3 years, and I was like there for her, and you know, and because I knew she had potential, and I was like trying all these different things. But until she was ready, it wasn't going to matter, right? And I honestly believe that if I wasn't being inspiring and if I wasn't living the life, and honestly, during those 3 years, it was like, I'd love for you to run with me, Haley, but I want to run no matter what. And then she finally did it, right? So I'm going to talk about 3 words for mentoring people. The first one is inspiring them. You need like inspire people, because once people are inspired, and for any of you on here that you've got someone in your downline, and I saw a bunch of star diamonds and stuff, and you guys could comment so everybody else knows that this is like the truth. That person, once they got inspired, like it was the inspiration, and then they just do it on their own. So the number one thing you're looking to do with those that you're mentoring, it's simply inspiring. Okay, Keith, I need to inspire people. How do we inspire them? Here's the thing. Be inspiring. Right? You've been around inspiring people before. It inspires you. The second thing is you need to be able to speak truth into the lives of the people that you're working with. I had a coach who was a 3-star diamond coach. So I'm mentoring her. She's a 3-star diamond coach. And we were doing weekly calls. I mentor my coaches up to 5-star diamond. Like I'm with them every week until they get to that point. So we're working together, and like 4 weeks in a row, it's the same issue coming up over and over and over. And I said to her, I'm trying to be very conscientious because sometimes I slip and say her name. I don't want to say her name. So I said to her, I was just like, listen, we've been talking about this same thing for the last 4 weeks. I love you. I support you, but I have to put these one-on-one calls on hold because until we address this issue, there's no point in us having these calls because we're not going anywhere, right? And she got upset, but eventually like came around and understood it all. But here's the deal. So we're talking about speaking truth into people's lives. If you're not living your best life, you're not going to be strong enough to be able to lovingly speak truth into someone else's life. Make sense? Another part of that truth is be good with your word. Show up. Because here's the deal. Most of the people that are going to come into this business and that you're going to attract haven't had that many people in their lives that they can really depend on and that are going to be there for them no matter what. Because the people that I'm mentoring, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to say the wrong things. I'm going to aggravate them. But I'm going to be there. And I'm going to show up, and I'm going to keep showing up, and I'm going to be there for them, and I'm going to support them regardless. I'm not looking to be perfect. I'm looking to go all in, right? So being able to speak truth, being able to be in your truth. So again, we talked about inspiring them, being truthful. Here's the third one. I'm trying to think of the best word to use for it. How about just simply loving them? the biggest thing that my mentor Craig and my personal sponsor Bob did for me is they loved me and they cared for me and they saw through my imperfections. They didn't see me as I was, they saw me as I could be. And they kept painting that vision over and over and over for me until I actually believed it myself. And then because I was a part of that, that's what I did with my people, right? Because here's the deal, I don't care who you are, we all need somebody to believe in us. We all need somebody to have our backs. We all need somebody to be our cheerleader and be in our corner and to see us not as we are, but as we can be. How do we actually find people to do this business and get them to take action? It's through living our best life. Because here's this business summed up. High level. You becoming the brightest, shiniest version of yourself from the inside out, getting really good at sharing that, and then helping others to do the same. The question no longer is, can I do this? Right? The question is, am I willing to do what it takes? And I believe that everything that I just shared, I don't think that I gave you, here's A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E. I don't believe that I gave you step by step by step, but you get it now, right? Like, you know that it's not, can I do it? It's, am I willing to do what it takes? Because you know how to find the people now. Don't get caught up in the little stuff. Don't major in minor things. Hustle, get out there, share this business opportunity, share the products, share about your challenge groups, follow up with people, and grow yourself. All right, you guys, I can hang out if you guys want to hang out. And I guess one more thing before I stop. One ask or two asks. If you've read the book, what would be a huge favor to me would be if you would do an honest review on Amazon. It's just huge for us to help push the word out there. And you can even do it right after the call. You don't even have to leave your computer. So that's the only ask.
We muted at the same time. Thank you, Keith. I'm just like over here with my notes and everything. Oh my God. I loved it. Thank you so much. Definitely leave the review. I'm like on Amazon every day anyway, so I might as well. I'm trying to think of any questions I have. Does anybody have any questions for him? I know you're a family man, you gotta get back to your family, but it doesn't look like I've seen any questions, just a lot of thank yous and amazing and thank you and getting the book and yeah, everything. Audio too is really cool too, guys, or get both. I think we might be good. Kate, do you have anything?
I think just one thing that I wanted to say to all of you guys is that, we learn about the vital behaviors. We know all the things that we need to do. And the one thing that because this book came into my life right after I had hit Diamond and was in that mentality of like, shit, now I'm a leader. I got to do this. I'm a leader now. I got to do this. That whole like, in this book, it brings in that the leader aspect of everything. And he talks, Keith, you say in the book, you can read all the personal development that you want, but unless you are personally developing yourself from what you are reading, it's just another book. And I just know personally with this book, it has helped me tremendously in the past couple months as far as becoming a leader. So that's my
Thanks, Kate.
Awesome. Well,
I had a question.
Okay.
Kimberly.
Hi. Okay. So this call really helped with it a lot, but do you have anything you specifically recommend to your coaches who are struggling with self-doubt?
That's a really, really good question. And it's fun. So I'm thinking, you guys know Liz Harkey? So Liz used to always have questions like that, and she used to get so mad at me with my answers because it's not like I want to teach you how to fish. I don't want to give you a fish. And here's the deal: it's unique for every person. So what may be causing self-doubt for you is totally different than what might cause self-doubt for me. What I would recommend is make a prayer about it, however that works for you, and just ask for the first step. So get clear on where you're going. What's your goal? Whatever it is, 5-star diamond coach. Okay, like, and now I have these self-doubt pieces. So it's a combination of two different things. It's a combination of continuing to show up every single day. And honestly, just that piece is going to slowly chip away at the self-doubt. But so I want to give this in a really, like, I want you to be able to understand it. Carl Deichler was, like, 2 years ago, we had him on our team call. And for those of you guys that have ever been around Carl, like, the dude is just always on. Like, he's just always, like, clear and bright and shiny and beautiful, right? So we had him on the call, and he's like, we can talk about whatever you want. And I'm big on, like, energy and manifesting, and so is he. So I wanted to, but he never talks about that stuff with Beachbody. So anyways, we got talking about something, and he eventually started sharing. He's like, I got to share with you guys the number one thing that I focus on every single day of my life, all day. And I was like, all right, like, this is like gold. So he's like, I have this Eastern Indian guru that I follow. I forget the guy's name. And he said he has this principle that he teaches called the snake in the room. And he said, here's the principle of the snake in the room, that we go through our days and there's certain things that are going to come at us that can take us out, aka a snake bites us, right? And for some of us, that's our spouse yelling at us. For some of us, it's the kids setting us off. For Carl, it's getting an FTC thing, or one of the programs bombing, or any number of things. And do you guys get what I'm talking about? Like these snakes. And he said, basically, it's anything that's going to take you out of your energy. And he said, here's what my focus is. It's two-part. It's A, I want to make sure, like a trigger. I want to make sure that I don't get bit. And then B, if I get bit, I got to get that poison out of me as fast as possible. Right? And the way that I translate that is I have to stay clear and I have to stay in my energy and not let, like, any of the outside noise attach to me. And he said, and he was like, got sad when he said this. He's like, you want to know why so many people, so many would-be successes in Beachbody never make it? And he said, because they got bit by big poisonous snakes a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, a decade ago, and they haven't gotten that poison out of them. And I think that for me, it just gives a really clear analogy. And so, like, that self-doubt, that's poison. That's a major snake that bit you. And we have to work at getting that out. And for me, and this is probably going to get way too, like, foo-foo or, like, out there for everybody, I actually was taught 2 different ways to do it. So if you don't believe in a higher power, what I was taught is doing a meditation and picturing, like, a vacuum over your head, literally, like, sucking that poison out. And if you do believe in a higher power, this is sort of what I do. It's getting into a surrender spot and surrendering over that thing that got attached to you that you don't have power over anymore. Long-winded answer and maybe way too much, but that, like, if I was working with someone one-on-one, that's how I would work with that piece.
Thank you so much. I love that answer.
That's some deep stuff. Now I'm picturing vacuums and snakes, but man, no. I'm like, that's when you said snake in the room. Carl Eichler said that on some call, or was, I think it was a national wake up call or something. I was like, yeah, I know that. So totally remember that. That's so true too.
Right.
And I think what I was going to say too is it comes back to, like, I think if you stop breaking those promises that you keep making to yourself, you know,
Same
you keep
thing,
breaking
right?
them. It just, that compound effect, it becomes negative, I think, versus that positive, you know, and instead of you slowly climbing that mountain and that ladder, you're just falling deeper and deeper. And so it's hard. And like Charlene said, everyone's different, I think, you know, so just find those triggers, don't let that snake bite. So, awesome answer. Thank you, Keith. Great question, Kimberly. Anybody else have anything? I know we're kind of going over, sorry. Want to let you get back to your family. I think we're good. Kate, are you got your record button?